then we just so happened to go check the box and it was something we never knew. So I don't know who plan that was, you know, but everything works out for a reason. So for us to be here now with a meeting and have the land, we came a long way. We've been working on this for months, right?
Yeah.
So to be here and to see this, you know, it means a lot, knowing from where we started. But Darius' main goal is just to bring housing, bring businesses, because we want to build up Lakeview. That's the main goal. I think everybody in here wants that same thing. So we want to see more housing, a lot of houses here. I noticed when I moved from Charlotte, we was looking for a house, and everything is old. You know, that you're going to buy a house here in Lakeview, everything is old, and there's not many options. We was lucky enough, Christopher Miller, rest in peace, was building a house, and we looked up and got one there. But we don't have a lot of opportunities like that here in Lakeview, so that's our main goal. We start with 5 or 4 house homes, but we want to do 70 to 100, or we just want everybody to have a decent place to live, and that's the main goal.
Yeah.
That's what we're about. We don't build big fancy homes. What we say is we build simple, decent, affordable homes, because that's what Habitat's all about. It's about affordability. You know, one of the words you're going to hear tonight is the word substandard. A part of being substandard is seeing people paying over 50% of their income in rent. That cuts down on their ability to pay a light bill, buy groceries, and do a lot of other things. So Habitat is all about affordability, and I'll get into that in a little greater detail in a moment about how we strive to do that. But I want to tell you about how the program operates first, give you an opportunity after I finish to answer any questions that you might have, and then before you leave tonight, you'll be able to get an application, a brochure that explains other items that you will need when you turn in the application. I just talked to Mayor Lee. He said it would be okay so that you don't have to drive to Marion to turn in the application. You can turn in your application at City Hall. We're going to try to make it convenient for you, and then Jim can pick those up. All right, that good? If not, if it is, let me kind of get started with talking about what we do. Number one, let me say this, because we get so many calls, people wanting one of our homes, got one today. People think we give our homes away. We do not have funding to be able to give the homes away. When you hear how we operate, you will say it's giving it away, because we don't charge an interest. We have 0% interest on our loans. I don't know the last time you borrowed money, but I guarantee you paid more than 0% interest. And then we can't sell that home at a profit. We have to sell that home at cost. Whatever the cost is we have for construction, that's the price that we have to sell the home at. We depend upon grant funding, any kind of donation that will help keep the cost of that home down. It makes that home more affordable to that family. So, number one, we don't give the homes away. You do have to pay a mortgage payment, and you do have to pay an escrow payment. Escrow covers your county taxes, city taxes if the home's in the city, and your homeowner's insurance. Let me just give you an example. We just closed on our most recent home. We'll be having the dedication for that home in Mullins this coming Saturday at 164 West Laurel Street. The home sold for $109,000. 0% interest, 30-year loan. What do you think her mortgage payment is? 400? How much? $250.40. Now that's just the mortgage. Again, you've got an escrow to pay. Escrow is out of our hands. We can't control the escrow payment because your county, Dillon County, here in Lakeview, is going to they have a tax millage rate, and I'm sure Mayor Lee, the city has a tax millage rate, right? So your county and your city is going to determine your tax. Homeowners is going to be determined by you. Insurance today will do a credit check. And the better you keep your home, because periodically they're going to send people out to take pictures of your home. And the better you keep your home, the cheaper your insurance is going to be. So insurance and escrow is out of our league. We can't control that, but you can control the insurance part. So we're not a giveaway program. Number two, we're not affiliated with HUD. I get a lot of calls from people that say, "How I want one of your HUD homes." We're not affiliated with home. We're a part of Habitat for Humanity, a separate entity, and we're not a part of any kind of federal program. We don't get federal funding to help us to be able to build our homes, unless there are some federal grants that we can apply for. But as far as the government just saying, "Hey, here's a bunch of money for you to build a home," that doesn't happen with Habitat. So, not a giveaway. We're not affiliated with HUD, not funded by the federal government. Habitat is a Christian ecumenical housing ministry. That's one of the things I love about what we do, because not only am I an executive director for Habitat, I'm also a bivocational pastor. I love Jesus. So I love the aspect that Habitat is a Christian housing ministry. We seek to bring people together of faith. One of the things that we're working on right now, Raymond, I don't know if Jim has told you, but Jim is working with the Dillon County Ministerial Association. I believe you said you were part of that now?
Yes.
Okay. He's trying to get together what's called a faith build, where we'll get churches together, 5, 6, however many churches together. Maybe they'll contribute financially to the home to help build it, or they'll contribute manpower to the home to help build it. So that sounds like there's something that's going to work out eventually, is a faith build. So we're a Christian ecumenical housing ministry. Another big part of what we do is we have college students that come in on their fall and spring breaks. They give up that week of time. You know, may not realize it, I'll soon be 66, but I was once a college student. And when I had my breaks, going to build a home was not one of the things on my bucket list. I always wanted to go to the beach and have a great time, fun time. But it's an amazing group of students that will sacrifice that week and come in to help build a home for a family that needs a home. We have, most of our schools come from up north. Any of y'all ever heard of Villanova University? Every spring, every fall, we have a student group from Villanova University that will come. Siena College has always been a repeater. We have had through our, what's soon to be 30 years of building homes, we've had over 70 different colleges come and be a part of our home build program. I just got a text a few minutes ago from a young gentleman that was down here a year ago with a Missouri Western State University from St. Joe's, Missouri. Will be coming in this Thursday, and this is the second time he's come because of the impact this organization had upon his life. His mom's coming with him. He's just gone back and he's just talked about how great Habitat is. So what we do is phenomenal. We have a great track history of changing communities and changing the lives of families. I wish I had brought the statistics about the success rate for children that grow up in a Habitat home. They're out of the projects, they're out of a bad home, they're out of poverty, and their success rate of succeeding in life, going to college, making something of themselves, getting a good job, all their test scores go up. Habitat has a tremendous impact upon the families. We build primarily new homes. We get a lot of calls for repair work. When I started with Habitat back in 2011, it cost us about $60,000 back then to build a home. That was a lot of money back in 2011. But as I just said, the most recent home we closed on was $109,000, and that was taking $15,000 of grant money off of it. So really, that home was really up around $130,000. And that doesn't include land, because the land was donated to us. So we don't have the money to build new homes and to do repair programs unless we get grant money from organizations. Duke Foundation last year, we got about a $15,000 grant to do repair work for seniors. But again, $15,000 sounds like a lot of money, but when you talk about construction materials, it doesn't go very far. So we do some repair work, but it depends upon the grant funds that we get. We do no work on mobile homes. That's just an area Habitat doesn't get involved. So here's kind of how the program works. You'll get an application later. On that application, you're going to have an area to list your income, you're going to have an area to list your debt. We do a credit check, but unlike most financial institutions, when we do a credit check, we don't look for a credit score, because banks, when they see a certain credit score, you're automatically disqualified. What we look for is what's called a debt-to-income ratio. Debt-to-income ratio cannot exceed 42%, because statistics show that if your debt is greater than 42% of your income, you really can't afford another debt. So we look for a debt-to-income ratio. You have to put, number one, the family has to qualify financially. I've got a sheet here that breaks down the income limits per family. We serve a population anywhere from 30% to 80% of the area median income for the county in which we deal. And that area median income is determined by HUD. And last time I looked, I don't know where they really get this figure from, but for Dillon County, it's about $55,000. That's what HUD says is the area median income. So 30 to 80% of $55,000 is what we operate on. And a lot has to do with the size of the family. If you have questions about that, I can share with you, a little later. So you have to qualify financially, number one. Second, once it goes through the financial aspect, we then turn the applications over to our family selection committee. And Darius and Kayla have asked, since they contributed the land and they know the people of Lakeview, Darius and Kayla have asked if they could be involved in that process. And we're going to let them be involved in that process of family selection. So then you have to live in what is referred to as substandard housing. Substandard is pretty broad. So like I said, substandard could be that you spend over 50% of your income on rent. You don't own your own home. How many of you are grandparents in here tonight? You've got your grandkids living with you. We see that a lot. So that kind of puts a hardship back on you, as you're in your later years done. So we look at overcrowded conditions. Habitat doesn't like to put boys and girls in the same bedroom. You probably have no option but to do that, given what you have. So we look at all that. Whether or not you have broken windows in your home, it's unsafe. You can't secure it. You have no adequate heat, no adequate air. There's a broad spectrum there for substandard, but that our family selection committee does a visit for those that have made it through the financial aspect, and then they make a recommendation to our full board. And then it's based on if you've got on this piece of land eventually possibly five homes to build, but tonight, when you get an application and we go through all that, and we've got 20 qualified applicants, but you only have 5 homes, who gets the homes? It goes to need. Who has the greatest need? So that's how we determine as far as who gets the home. Another aspect of our program, we pride ourselves on this statement. Habitat is a hand up, it's not a hand out. It's a hand up, not a hand out. Each family is required to have 300 hours of sweat equity, is what we call it, in their home. Now, it doesn't necessarily just have to be you. It could be family members of yours helping you. It could be co-workers helping you, church members helping you. There's a lot of ways to get the sweat equity, but 300 hours, that gives you ownership in the home. I appreciate things more when I have to work for it, don't you, than it being given to you. You know the hard sweat that you put into it. I mean, think about the temperatures that we've been having. Having to go out there when it's 104, 110 heat index, and you're working on your home, you know, for a week or so, you appreciate it. You know, hey, I worked hard during that time. So that's just a part of the program that Habitat does, is the sweat equity. The last thing that I have here, and then I'll kind of open it up for questions. The piece of land that Darius just purchased is located on South Cedar Street, and it's between South Cedar Street and Waverly Street. Almost at the end where, I believe it's called Old Kemper Road. Is that the name of the road? Old Kemper Road, and then there's a Church of Christ of Apostolic Faith, I think, on the corner. It's about 1.5 acre tract of land there that Darius just closed on yesterday, it was, that we'll be building these homes on. Mayor, it's going to make a difference here in your town. I've talked with the mayor in Mullins, I've talked to the mayor in Marion, and one of the common things I always hear is, what are we going to do with these old dilapidated houses that they're just rotting down? You know, we want to beautify our city. Well, that tract of land is getting ready to get beautified, I'm telling you. So, that's all I have right now. I'll open it up to questions. You want to say anything else, Ray? All right, questions? You mean to tell me I answered all of your questions? Okay.
What if you have your own land, which y'all build on?
I knew that was going to come up.
Yeah.
No, the only way we can build on other land is that land has to be deeded to us during the life of the mortgage. If you got a 30-year mortgage, that land would have to be in our name, and the reason being is if we had to foreclose on the land for some reason, and the land's in your name, the house is in ours, legally you could keep us off the land. So our board adopted a policy a few years ago that we just don't build on, because most people don't want to deed their land over when they find out.
That's across the state by itself. Could they?
Sure. We have to operate under equal housing policy, so we can't discriminate based on age, race, sex, family status. You know, whether you wouldn't get a 3-bedroom home, but you get a 1-bedroom home if you by yourself.
Okay.
Sir, if you're living in a household, which you were saying a few minutes ago, that no heating and the wiring on one side of my house not totally working, and it's a bad short, and the floors is falling in. Just a whole lot of stuff that's going on into my house, and me and my mama and my friend, we all on disability. So how would we go about that? Just add all our income
Yes, ma'am.
onto that?
Yep. On the application, there's going to be an area where it says applicant and co-applicant. If you're going to consider their income, I would put somebody as a co-applicant.
Yes,
But whoever's going to stay in that home, you know, you need to list all the income for the people that stay in there.
But what about the size? I mean, if there's like 5 people, how many rooms would, you know?
Well, again, what we would have to look at, 5 people, how many children? 2, boy, girl, boy, boy. All right, so Probably what you could be looking there is about 4 bedrooms, about the biggest home we do.
I'm not sure that,
Okay, I'll get you next.
I'm not sure that actually how to work. My question, I live in a property that we own, but it's mortgaged. We have damage, we continually have increasing damage from flood, waters, the flash flood problem. Some things the insurance companies will not touch. Because the contractor that we first had, I live in the house beside the property that's vacant, where the drop box is.
Okay.
And here's his lot, is way higher than ours. And the water runs off on that side and it runs off on the other side. But it's not gonna flash flood, it's gonna couldn't have water straight to our house, and our cars, they were about, time everybody can see it, 5 hours, but they later just started receiving. But the damage is too big. But there's certain things that they said, because the first contractor did not complete the correct thing, and they didn't replace materials, and the second time it was, they were gonna replace it. So there's about $16,000 worth of damage that they weren't touching it. And next time it was, it's gonna be the same thing. So other period of time is where we think that the insurance company never paid insurance, we're not touching it. So would we at that point be eligible to ask for repair if we have grant money at that point?
If we have grant money, yes, would it be something that we could consider?
Or maybe things to help prevent
Right.
the flooding of the property, because I mean, it's usually going to affect other properties.
Right. I mean, just based, I've not seen the property, but just, it sounds to me like your home needs to be elevated
The
somehow.
whole property is like
Yeah.
it's like we used to have one that had a lot on that side of it. The lot would be level with the ground if I was standing on the sidewalk
Mhm.
with the back, so it's probably 18 feet with the cross. Well, I don't have another with the field there, plus it's not, just run off with another property, it's creating the erosion and sediment on our property, not to get it, it's lost away.
Right.
Gotta fix that first.
That's something that we would have to look at and know if we have grant money.
Right.
If my home moved down, and they let me know, we can do that, if you do it. But it's on our own land.
Well, again, our board adopted a policy that we don't build on anybody else's land, but I mean, by all means, you can complete an application and move on one of these lots if it's approved.
If the person who's paying the mortgage passes away, who does the home go to?
All right, that's a great question, Bailey. We have a home like that right now. We just lost one of our homeowners. She was in her early 40s. It goes through probate. If they have a will, the will will specify typically who the property goes to. And then, once it goes through probate, it determines who gets the home. We can't, I mean, we have to operate just like a bank or any other lender would do. We can't, just because it's a habitat home, we can't go back and say, well, we're going to take the home back because your child doesn't qualify or whatever. No, we have to, the legal process has to work.
About that, so y'all don't offer any type of gap insurance for that?
Any type of what?
Gap insurance, or if somebody passes?
No, we don't offer any kind of insurance.
I mean, for is, property, the house getting paid off if someone passed away.
No.
How do you volunteer when it comes time to building?
Do what now?
How do you volunteer or get volunteers when it comes to
Call our office and just ask, about the volunteer opportunities that are, are available at that time, and then we'll hook you up.
Because my whole office, I think, gets a
Or give your information to the man right there, Jim Kirkland in the red shirt. We're putting together a list, volunteer list right now. Any other questions? All right, let me say this, because this is one of the problems that I see a lot when applications are done. Be honest on the application. We have people, they will not list all of their debt, and when the credit report comes back, if it has debt that's on there that wasn't listed, we're not going to process the application. Be sure, just be honest. It's going to come out in the report. If you got student loan debt or whatever, be sure to list it all. If you're not sure, you can get everybody's entitled to one free credit report a year. Pick your choice. Equifax, TransUnion, or what's the other? Experian. Get it, print it out, and you can see you can see your credit report. Be sure to list everything. Be sure to list all of your income. By not listing your income, you might be hurting yourself in getting home, because maybe I'm going to give you the income levels. This is for Dillon County. If you're a one-person family, 30% of the median family income, the minimum is $13,100. If you go to the maximum, 80% is $34,900. So you couldn't make above or below those two figures I gave. If you're a two-person family, it's $15,000 is the low, $39,900 is the high. Three-person family, $16,850. 80% is $44,900. A four-person, that is for a five-person family, $53,850 is the high. The low is $20,200. So that kind of gives you an idea of what kind of income we're talking about. We do not do anything repairs, not unless we have grant money to do that, because I can't go over and be building a new home and also be doing repair. We just don't have that kind of money.
Someone said you got income for a month or a year.
Dan?
You got income for a month or a year?
That's a year. No more questions?
I have one.
Okay.
When do they plan on picking, like when do they plan on knowing, notifying who's been approved and what happened?
Okay, for this group, we're going to do another meeting August 13th. I think Jim has got it cleared in the city. If not, we'll have to get it on the agenda. But we wanted to have another meeting on August 13th. So I would like for you to, if you can, give you 3 weeks to get the application done and all the material, turn it in to the city hall. When the group comes August 13th, they'll have through the end of August, have all the applications turned in by the end of August, and then it's just going to be depending on how many applications that we get to have to go through them all. I would say probably 3 to 4, maybe a month, if you got a good many applications. And then everybody's notified whether you were denied or accepted into the program through letter. You want to say a word? I mean, you're familiar with the work we do in Marion County. He's been a huge asset to us.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Ricky and Jim, and especially to Raymond Foxworth and Darius Leonard, and to the Marion-Dillon Habitat Board and the mayor for making this possible. blessing. And it works. And don't be afraid. You know, we have a lot of people in our area that live in homes that, like say, that are not standard living homes according to the code today. All they want to do, this is a mission. This is a faith-based organization that's trying to change the quality of lives. And I remember when they approached me, Kirkwood, Barnes, and they want to take this, expand it over into Dillon County. And I said, I think that's a wonderful idea, but there's a great need here as well. And they're just trying to fill that gap. And we know it's a big gap. They would love to fill it all. They'd love to put everybody that are in substandard homes into good, livable, comfortable homes. And these are beautiful homes, we talk about. And they've been doing this a long time. And they don't get paid to do it. They do it out of the goodness of their hearts. And they spend a lot of time doing this. And we've always been very supportive of Habitat for Humanity and the work they do, not just here in Marion-Dillon counties, but all across the state. It's a wonderful organization, and I think you all are just blessed that they're now being able to bring this program to Dillon County. So take advantage of it. You don't know if you don't fill out the application. That is the only way you will know. And so it'll be like hitting the lottery, if you will. When you talk about zero interest, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And when you said the average monthly house payment on these type homes around $250, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get much better than that.
That's 3 bedroom, 2 full bath.
That's right. This is what we call life-changing experiences here. So, God bless you all. It's good to see a wonderful crowd here tonight. And I'm here to do whatever I can to support. And I know the question came up about repairs. Let me just tell you, we know about repairing homes. We do a lot of that. We've done a lot of that in Marion, throughout the region. And we can do that, the same thing here in Dillon County. And I will be talking to the mayor about that. We get money in the state appropriation bill every year, Marion County long-term recovery, that, you know, is an arm of the county council that was established because of Hurricane Matthew and Hurricane Florence. A lot of people fell in the cracks, and they ran out of money, and it's still in a lot of homes that needs to be addressed, need to be repaired, and so we can help address some of that. We'll be talking to the mayor officials about that, how we can help in that regard. Okay? Good to see you all. God bless you.
Back in 1994, when we got started, it started from a group of, I'll get to it, concerned citizens that had they were concerned about poverty housing in Marion County. And their goal was to eliminate poverty housing in Marion County. Well, how do you do that? You've heard the old saying, how do you eat an elephant one piece at a time? We do it through building one home at a time. Since in our 30 years, almost 30 years of existence, we've built 48 homes. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 48 families that have a better place to live. And we just, like Raymond said, Darius' vision, I think, he mentioned 67. So, who knows? Only God knows where this will go. You had a question, ma'am? I can't hear you well. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. come and dig. That applicant could get better paid job, they could lose their job. So all that will impact, their ability to qualify for funds. So we need to evaluate that. That's why we don't want to waste money doing the credit checks and everything, time, energy, going through the applications, and then it's a year later and then that's qualified. Trying to get the applicant filled out. So, yeah, they have to do the application.
Well, what if we have land in the house owner, but the house isn't worth then? How do y'all know about that? Can they tear it down and rebuild? If we willing to sign the deal?
Like I said, our board adopted a policy not to build on other land because, let's just take your scenario. Do you have a septic tank and a well? All right, how old is the septic tank? Well, see, there's a problem right there because we couldn't put a new home on a septic tank that's that old, so we couldn't build there. And I talked with a gentleman that used to work for DHEC, and what he did was septic tanks, and I believe he told me DHEC's actually getting out of the septic tank business.
No, they're not getting out. They're giving you an option.
Okay.
You can get a private company to come in and do it, but it's much more expensive.
Yes, very expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah, they're not getting out of that.
So we like to build where there's city water and sewer available. I was told that you can expect to spend about $20,000 if you have to put down a deep well in the septic tank. And again, when you're trying to keep the cost of a home down, if you've already got $20,000 in it before you ever dig a foundation, that hurts. All right, no other questions? All right, if you would, if you could just kind of make a line, come over, I'll get my wife to give out the applications. Kendra, could you give them the brochure? And our phone office number's on there. We don't have an office over in Dillon County yet. We're working on that. Call us and ask us any questions that you might have. We want to help you. Let me say this too, like Senator Williams said. Don't take the initiative to do the application. You never know what's going to happen. We had a family that almost didn't apply because of something that had happened in the past, and their pastor called and asked me if that would disqualify them, and I told them no. I said, have them fill out the application. You never know. And they ended up getting home. So you never know. Like I said, I'm a pastor. I believe in faith. I believe in God. We serve a big God. You never know what God's got in store for you. So trust in Him. Do the application.